we're having a systems change. You've probably seen an email come through with that announcement. Or perhaps you heard it in a town hall meeting. It typically meets with mixed reviews. On the one hand, you have a group of people where they are thrilled about this change. They've been talking about the system being clunky for years, not being efficient, and they are excited that a change is gonna come. But on the other hand, you have a group, they meet it with a deep sigh and sagging shoulders because they are in dread of the transition that's about to come. Hi there, I'm Deborah from #DebTalk. It's an informal mentoring space where I share guidance, thoughts, advice to help you successfully navigate the workplace. Today's talk is going to share with you how to stay sane and survive a systems change. We'll start off with a general definition of a systems change. We'll touch on some of the positive and negative effects of that change. I'll share my personal story of walking through a systems change and the 5 things that I did to stay sane through a systems change. Let's define a systems change. Now, I want to put it out there, I am not an IT person, so this is a very general idea of what a systems change is. It's when a company decides to change out or upgrade, replace its information technology or IT resource that it uses to function and remain competitive. One of my IT friends said to me that one of the other reasons why companies will change out their system is to ensure that they're adhering to legal requirements. Because the systems change is such a big deal in an organization, it's a game changer. And with that comes a lot of positive effects as well as negative effects. What are some of the positive effects of a systems change? Well, one, the company can become more productive. You have a system that is faster, more efficient. It allows the company to be more competitive, so they're able to go toe-to-toe or even get ahead of their competitors who are in the market. The system also allows folks to save money because if you're more efficient, then it allows the company to save money. There are a lot of great benefits to a systems change. But there's also a negative side, possibly, to a systems change. For example, productivity may slow down because of the fact that this is something that's new. Employees have to take time to learn it. They're not going to be as quick at the beginning of all of this. So that's one particular drawback. There's also the case where if the decision makers did not take the time to truly speak with the people who use the system the most, then that could really be a challenge, because while the old system may have required them to do two things in order to accomplish something, the new system, if the decision makers did not consult with the users, may require 6 different steps to do the same thing. So you're looking at a bunch of disgruntled folks because they weren't included in that decision-making process. There's also the possibility that there may be a lack of compatibility between some of the systems within the organization. The IT folks, you can talk even more about this, but if there's a lack of compatibility, some of the things that could happen is that stuff gets lost. And then that begins to impact the relationship and the level of service we're able to give to customers, to our clients, to our partners. And so that's definitely one of the things that could be a negative impact of a systems change. How am I able to verbalize some of these positive and negative effects of a systems change? It's not because I'm an IT person or have any IT expertise at all. It's really because I experienced walking through one. A few years ago, I worked at a company and they made the decision to go through a systems change. It was a change that would affect every department. It would affect how we did business. It would impact how we interacted with our customers, with our partners. It definitely, like I said earlier, was a game changer. There were days that I was super excited about this change. There was just so much energy and excitement in the atmosphere. But then there were days, if you were to ask me to come up with a mental image of what those tough days were like, it would be a ship going into rough waters. On the one hand, you see different people trying to steer the ship. And then on the other hand, you see other people with pails trying to bail out the water out of the ship. Just chaos and stress. What does that look like in real life? It looks like the IT department working really long hours during the days and working through the weekends, coming to work with bloodshot eyes. It looks like having different meetings where folks are stressed and maybe a couple of people might lose their tempers. Oh, this is really important. It looks like being given instructions one day and then 3 days later being given a completely different set of instructions. Rough. I remember talking with one of my coworkers, just trying to get a handle on these quickly shifting priorities. And we came up with a word, fluid. That was how we were going to survive this systems change, by remaining fluid. The definition of fluid is this: a substance that has no fixed shape and yields easily to external pressure, a gas or especially a liquid. And that's according to dictionary.com. Of course, you think about water, right? You think about flowing water. When water comes into contact with a barrier or with some type of obstacle that stands up between it, water goes over it or around it or under it, but it keeps on flowing. Fluid is in essence another word for being adaptable. How can you and I be fluid? How can we remain adaptable so that we can successfully make it through a systems change? Really, just make it through changes in general. I want to share with you 5 things that helped me. Number 1, let it go and flow. Say that with me. Let it go and flow. Let go of the way things were. Let go of the way you wished things would be. Let go. Unfreeze and absolutely let go and go with the flow of what is happening. That's tip number 1. Tip number 2 in managing a systems change is watch your thoughts. You know that song? Watch your eyes, what they see. Well, I'm saying to you that we have to watch our thoughts. Why is that? Because what we think about impacts our emotions. Our emotions impact our feelings, which impact our behavior, which impacts our attitude. If you are thinking negatively about the change, if you're on the side talking with your friends about how awful this is and about how ridiculous the leaders of the organization are, or who doesn't know what they're doing, all of those things are going to impact how you feel and therefore how you act. The thing is that sometimes we think that our feelings don't show, but they're going to come out. They're going to come out in a meeting. They're going to come out in our attitudes when we're asked certain questions. They're going to come out in our responses. And you want to be the kind of person where your managers look at you and realize that you're someone who is open to change, that you're adaptable. The way to do that, though, is to make sure that you're watching your thoughts and what you think about. A quick way to do that, instead of just saying, oh, I won't think bad thoughts, I won't think bad thoughts, is to actively think good thoughts. There are benefits to this systems change. So ensure that you focus your attention on how is this going to benefit the company? How is this going to benefit me? And there are many ways. It's going to help make things faster, hopefully. It's going to help us become a more productive and prosperous company. But one of my IT friends also shared this next point with me. It's to realize that this also benefits you. You are expanding the number of things that you know. You're expanding your repertoire. This is something you can add to your resume. And the tip that he gave me was to make sure that you know the system in and out, that eventually you become a subject matter expert to other folks. So to see this as an opportunity. Tip number 3, practice patience. Practice patience. Everybody deals with stress in a different way. There are some that handle it really well, and there are some that don't handle it well. Sometimes when these changes are taking place in an organization, it feels like a pressure cooker. Be the kind of coworker, the kind of employee where you don't add fire, or rather add gasoline to the fire. That you are a source of calmness, that you are a source of positivity. You also want to make sure that you're being patient with your coworkers. Folks are going to make mistakes, and that you're also being patient with yourself. To the left, everything you own and about. Okay, I'm not sure if that's how the song goes. The point is, if the people say go left, go left. If they say go right, go right. As long as they're not telling you to do anything that's wrong. Don't make the assumption that your leaders know everything. They are not all knowing. There are times where they need to see how something is going to play out. So one week they may tell you, go in this direction. And then a week later, they share with you, go in the other direction. Don't stress out. Just if they say go left, just go left. Here's another thought. Quick question. Are you still getting a paycheck? Okay. All right. Relax. Go to the left or go to the right. Just go with the flow and just know that your leaders are not perfect. They're trying to see how some of this stuff plays out. So just be that team player and go with the flow, like I said earlier. Tip number 5, be solution focused. Be solution focused. During this time of change, it becomes very easy for a lot of people to point out what the problems are, what the challenges are. But not as many people are actually pointing to possible solutions. I want you to be that person. Don't just point out what's wrong and why we can't do this or why we can't do that. Sit down and try to come up with some possibilities of how can we do X, Y, and Z. Trust me, your managers, your leaders will so respect that. The last thing they want to hear is about the different problems. They're looking for someone that can help them find solutions. Be that person. It's such a cliche, but it goes without saying that change is a constant. And what's more is that it's happening faster than it has ever happened before. You and I have to be fluid. We have to be adaptable if we are going to flow with these changes and remain sane, composed, add value to our organizations, add value to the people that come around us. We have to be adaptable. And being adaptable has never been more important than it is at this moment. I hope you enjoyed this talk and that you found some part of it helpful. If you did, I will so appreciate it if you would go ahead and like this video, share a comment, maybe some of the ways that you have survived systems changes or ways that you have found that work when it comes onto managing massive changes in the workplace. I'd love to see some of your thoughts, and I know that other folks watching these videos could really benefit from your knowledge. So share those thoughts, like, subscribe, share. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate it. Have a great work week. Until next time.